Good evening, US and Atlantic weather news. Tonight, we bring you a special report as a powerful coastal low-pressure system is developing just off the southeastern coast of the United States. This system is forecast to bring a prolonged period of dangerous weather along the entire East Coast, from the Carolinas all the way to New England, through this weekend and into early next week. It is expected to deliver heavy rain, strong winds, high surf, coastal flooding, and storm surge, a setup comparable to a classic autumn or winter nor'easter. In this broadcast, we'll break down how this system is forming, its projected track, the areas likely to be hit hardest, and the latest warnings from the U.S. National Weather Service, NWS. Later in the program, we'll also bring you the newest update on Tropical Storm Jerry, which is strengthening and could become a Category 1 hurricane as it nears the Leeward Islands within the next 24 hours. Formation and setup. After a cold air mass swept down from the northern U.S. earlier this week, its leading edge pushed a cold front offshore into the Atlantic. Ahead of this front, warm, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic is surging northward and clashing with the cooler, drier air blowing out from the continent. This sharp temperature contrast, what meteorologists call a baroclinic zone, provides the perfect breeding ground for a developing low-pressure system. Forecast data from the ECMWF model shows strong upper-level energy diving southward from Canada interacting with rich low-level moisture over the western Atlantic. This interaction is expected to spawn a powerful coastal low off South Carolina by Friday night, rapidly intensifying through the weekend. It's worth noting that this system is not a true tropical storm. Instead, it's more of a nor'easter-type low, driven by temperature contrasts rather than warm core convection. However, with sea surface temperatures still hovering near 27 to 28 degrees Celsius and abundant atmospheric moisture, this hybrid system could still take on tropical-like characteristics, producing flooding rains, damaging winds, and storm surge, all hallmarks of a tropical cyclone. Model agreement and projected path. According to ECMWF guidance, by Friday night, thunderstorms and heavy showers will develop off the South Carolina coast, gradually expanding inland by early Saturday morning, impacting Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and Wilmington. Rainfall totals could reach 50 to 100 millimeters, 2 to 4 inches, within 24 hours. By Saturday evening, the low is forecast to strengthen as it moves north toward North Carolina, with winds of 70 to 90 kilometers per hour, 45 to 55 miles per hour, and gusts over 100 kilometers per hour, 60 plus mph, along the Outer Banks. On Sunday, the storm expands northward across Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and New Jersey, bringing widespread heavy rain and coastal flooding, wave heights of 3 to 5 meters, 10 to 16 feet, and storm surge of 0.8 to 1.2 meters, 2.5 to 4 feet, could flood low-lying coastal zones. By Monday, when the system reaches peak intensity, its center may be located just offshore of New Jersey or Long Island, producing strong onshore winds and rough surf from Long Island Sound to Massachusetts and Rhode Island. The GFS model paints a similar picture but moves the system a bit faster, spreading rain farther inland into cities like Raleigh, Richmond, Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia before it drifts out to sea early next week. Both models agree this will be a multi-day coastal event, not a quick-hitting storm. Regional impacts. The Carolinas, Charleston to Outer Banks. This will likely be ground zero. Winds could reach 70 to 90 kilometers per hour, 45 to 55 miles per hour, with gusts over 100 kilometers per hour, 60 plus mph. Rainfall totals may exceed 120 millimeters, 5 inches, in spots. And coastal waves could reach 4 to 5 meters, 15 to 17 feet. The NWS offices in Charleston and Morehead City have issued coastal floodwatches and high surf advisories, urging residents to stay off beaches and avoid surf zones. Virginia and Chesapeake Bay region. The Tidewater area, including Norfolk and Virginia Beach, will face sustained winds of 60 to 70 kilometers per hour, 40 to 45 miles per hour. Gusts near 90 km per hour, 55 miles per hour. And 50 to 100 millimeters, 2 to 4 inches, of rain. Flooding is expected in low-lying neighborhoods along the bay. The NWS Wakefield office warns that multiple tidal cycles could bring repeated coastal flooding and advises residents to secure vehicles and avoid travel during the strongest winds. Delmarva and New Jersey shore. Strong northeast winds 40 to 60 km per hour, 25 to 40 miles per hour. Gusting up to 80 km per hour, 50 miles per hour, Sunday night into Monday morning. Rainfall totals 60 to 100 millimeters, 2 to 4 inches. Locally 130 millimeters, 5 inches. Waves 5 to 6 meters, 16 to 20 feet, could cause significant beach erosion near Atlantic City and Cape May. Local officials may temporarily close bridges and coastal roads if water levels continue rising. Long Island, New York, southern New England. Winds 50 to 70 km per hour, 30 to 45 miles per hour. Gusts 80 to 90 km per hour, 50 to 55 miles per hour. Rain 50 to 80 millimeters, 2 to 3 inches. Locally up to 100 millimeters, 4 inches. Seas 4 to 6 meters, 13 to 20 feet, will make ferry operations dangerous. The NWS New York office warns of localized flooding in river valleys and tidal areas, especially where high tide coincides with heavy rain. Inland cities, Raleigh, Richmond, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, will see milder impacts, periods of moderate rain, breezy conditions, and persistent cloud cover. Meteorological analysis. Experts at NOAA attribute this event to the sharp interaction between two air masses, the cold Canadian flow and the warm, moist Atlantic feed. This collision forces air to rise rapidly, forming a strong offshore low-pressure zone. While the models show general agreement, there's still uncertainty in the exact track. If the center hugs the coast, impacts will be much more severe. If it remains 100 to 200 kilometers offshore, inland areas will be spared the worst. Currently, forecasts lean toward a moderate impact scenario, close enough to cause coastal damage, but likely not enough to evolve into a full tropical storm. By latest estimates, the central pressure may drop to 995 to 998 hectopascals, with peak winds offshore reaching 70 to 80 km per hour, 45 to 50 miles per hour. Gusting 90 to 100 km per hour, 55 to 60 miles per hour. Rainfall averages: 70 to 120 millimeters in the Carolinas and Virginia, 50 to 100 millimeters in the mid-Atlantic, 40 to 80 millimeters in New England. Wave heights: 3 to 5 meters, up to 6 to 7 meters in open waters. NWS alerts and safety guidance. The National Weather Service has issued multiple warnings. Coastal Flood Watch, High Surf Advisory, Small Craft Advisory, Rip Current Warning. These cover nearly the entire stretch of coastline from South Carolina to Massachusetts. Residents are urged to secure boats, stay off beaches, and monitor local forecasts closely. Update on Tropical Storm Jerry. Meanwhile, over the central Atlantic, Tropical Storm Jerry continues to intensify. As of 11 a.m., the National Hurricane Center reports Jerry located about 500 kilometers east of the Leeward Islands, with sustained winds near 100 kilometers per hour, 60 miles per hour, and gusts to 120 kilometers per hour, 75 miles per hour. The central pressure is 1,000 hectopascals. Jerry is moving west-northwest at 20 kilometers per hour, 12 miles per hour, and is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane within 24 to 36 hours. The islands of Antigua, Barbuda, Anguilla, and Saint Martin are under tropical storm warnings, with heavy rainfall and gusty winds expected. Beyond the leewards, Jerry is forecast to curve north into open waters, likely sparing the U.S. mainland. Bermuda, however, should still monitor closely for potential changes in track. Elsewhere across the United States, much of the continental U.S. is enjoying typical early autumn weather. The Midwest and Northeast remain warmer than average, highs 24 to 28 degrees Celsius, 75 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Nighttime lows 12 to 16 degrees Celsius, 54 to 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Texas and Louisiana continue to bake under highs around 34 to 35 degrees Celsius, 93 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. While the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, sees the first rounds of steady rain, an early sign of the upcoming wet season. In the southeast, where the coastal storm is brewing, thick humidity and cloudy skies make it feel muggy even though temperatures aren't extreme. After the coastal low pulls away early next week, another cool Canadian air mass will move southward, bringing drier weather to much of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. However, the Gulf of Mexico and Florida will remain moisture-rich, meaning new tropical disturbances could still emerge in the latter half of October. Remember, the Atlantic hurricane season is not over yet, and late-season systems often form close to land with little warning. Preparedness and closing message. Emergency management agencies from South Carolina to Massachusetts are urging residents to be ready for possible power outages and flooding. Recommended actions. Stock up on food, water, batteries, and flashlights. Inspect roofs and secure outdoor items. Avoid driving through flooded roads, especially at night. Follow guidance from the NWS and local authorities. All coastal states have activated 24-hour emergency readiness teams until the system moves offshore. Thank you for watching the U.S. and Atlantic weather news. Please remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. We'll continue to provide constant coverage of the developing coastal low and tropical storm Jerry throughout the weekend. Have a safe and peaceful evening, and may calm weather return soon to everyone along the East Coast preparing for this storm.